Hey everybody, it is Helix here with Kelpo, and we're going to do a Week 1 review of the Cult of Larry Draft League Initiate Division.
Hello, friends. We are here for the first time.
Yeah, definitely the first time. Not an audio issue at all. So started off with really successful first week. Glad you guys did a great job scheduling. You guys flew through your draft. You guys are by far the best division. Don't let anyone tell you differently. And we're just going to go through a couple games here and then check out standings and kill leaders, and keep this pretty light for you guys and informative.
Yeah, we selected these games because they all have I think teachable moments and definitely some interesting choices that were made that maybe can we can provide another angle to it.
Yeah, so this will be good here. And our first game is Green versus Zach here. And I think the first thing Kelpo and I both noticed was no Arboliva is a little tough here.
Yeah, the so Arboliva not being brought lets Swampert really do whatever it wants. It can Earthquake for free. It can Aquatail pretty much for free. Um, and it can just do whatever it wants. It has a great matchup into the six that were brought um, against it, and it is a very offensive Swampert, can really do a lot of work here. Another thing that I think you picked up on was that that Qian Pao has a very nice Sacred Sword button that it can press.
Yeah, I think Sacred Banded or Swords Dance here with Sacred Sword does a ton of damage, assuming Clefable's not like unaware, full Fizz Def, bulky, and even then you have some pretty good answers for it in Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb on your Glow King. The Hoodra is very scary for it, and it doesn't really want to take fire and attacks from Saraledge either. So I thought it had a pretty good matchup. Let's jump into this one and see how it goes, though. Yeah.
So
First turn's tough here.
yeah, so already you're seeing the consequences of not having Arboliva, and that's that. Where's your Earthquake switch in? It has to be Tusk, and when it isn't Tusk, then you're taking 2/3 of your health, which it'll get healed off, but it's still like you're already putting yourself behind. And obviously a good read by Zachary to lead with the threat that doesn't have switch-ins.
Yeah. And then Chilly Reception is tough. I think in hindsight's 2020, but there if you had a Toxic or maybe it gets grass on a Future Sight, something to put a little pressure on the Swampert would have been better, because Swampert just kind of goes on a tear here. Even if it's fully physical, and it still does quite a bit to the Great Tusk. Yeah, 48 is a lot.
Yeah. So, and the knockoff was fine there. It's Chip and what did it knock off? I couldn't see it.
It knocked off lefties.
Okay. So, obviously, you don't want it to heal up. That's fine. I think there was a very strong rocks argument as well to stop the Beedrill from coming in for free as well, which now it gets it up, which is fine. But you're already down Tusk, which makes Beedrill so much happier to come in, even with the rocks up. Like, having Tusk there as a guaranteed switch in to it was, I think, very powerful, and to lose that piece that early because you don't have a better Swampert answer, I think is very detrimental for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and I think Rocky Helmet was, in retrospect, it ends up not mattering too much, but I think, Rocky Helmet was the play here to damage this Beedrill, because Mega Beedrill, you need speed control, or you need to punish the U-turn spam. So getting Rocks Up or Rocky Helmet on a pretty good resist is huge, and that's kind of what you needed here. And obviously now losing Great Tusk makes this incredibly difficult, and Swampert has just nuked this team in half here.
Yeah, every wall's been chipped already by it, which isn't good. Also makes Beedrill very happy. The Terra Ghost to finish it off. You have to send in your win con at this point, otherwise you're not winning. So, but I think to bring it out to have to bring it out this early to answer the Swampert is
it's tough.
It's a very tough position to be in. Little confused on the Terra Ghost versus I think there was a good argument for Fire. I think there was, if you are going to opt out of bringing Arboliva, then I think Terra Grass is a very good option as well.
And I think this is tough. I also, we don't, not sure what your moves here were, but I would have thought Bitterblade was the play, but I guess not. And then Zach does a good job. He throws the rest up, starts sleep talking while Deontay starts calm mining, which is scary. But as you can tell from the damage here on this body press that comes out, this is a full offensive bulk Deontay, so it's not, its defense is kind of rough here. 59% is a lot. Great to get the crit and get your health back, but these body presses just do so much after the one boost. It's a tough spot to be in. I get why you just went for it. I would have probably done the same thing. I may have brought out Chien Pao, but it happens. And here we see the bee starting to do bee things.
Yeah, so even if you were expecting, instead of a poison jab, if you were expecting the safer drill run, I think you always sack Hoodra instead of just giving your DMC, which I don't think it ends up mattering, but just as a general thing, I think that DNC had more left to give in this matchup versus a Gudra that had a third of health left, that I'm pretty sure loses to, I think, everything else in a one-on-one, unless I could be wrong, but I just, that it felt like felt weird to sack your DNC and then immediately go into Hoodra and lose it anyway. Whereas you could have given one and then brought in something like your Chien Pao and maybe threatened it with an Ice Shard.
Yeah, I think
a Sucker Punch.
It was a tough one. I think this is also possibly a misplay. I think you have to take the kill here, and the reason is, I don't know what your set is, but B is faster, and it's speed. It's speed. It's set. It's always going to be faster unless you're running Scarf, which is probably unlikely on the Chien Pao, probably Banded or Boots. I think you take the kill, and that gives you a really good shot, because you're going to OHKO the Hydreigon, you're going to OHKO the Superior unless it's Scarfed, and it puts you at probably a roll on killing the Clef, depending on the sets. And if you're Icicle Crash and you get a flinch, you could win on one, but instead you go down, and now there's no way to come back. Globro is a great mon. It's not taking Crunch, which was a really smart brain by Zach to avoid the massive special bulk and just run this. Obviously getting burned doesn't matter, but tough one here for green. I think the prep was just a little off, But Zach, really well played, man. I thought you played that almost flawlessly. You identified the best lead here and just absolutely nuked that team to half, I think, after turn 1. And really, I think once the Tusk went down, it was a really tough game to just come back from. So really well played.
Definitely a very clean game by Zachary, and I think we didn't see what the superior was. I don't think, but I would imagine it was scarfed to beat the Chen Pao. I don't know, but I definitely think that um, if the end last few turns have been played differently, then at the very least, I think that the differential could have been brought down, because I don't think that this game, despite the overwhelming matchup advantage given by the Swampert, I think that this game was I think that it was winnable by Green. As hard as it may have been, I think that it could have been done.
Yeah, and you know that's a good bright side to look at. Is you had a chance. You could have played it well. You made a couple good plays there to kind of get back in the game. So take that from it. You know, kind of build on it. I think you have a really good team, and your core is very scary.
The team is very strong.
Yeah, maybe just a little lack in the oversight on the Swampert, but it happens. You learn from it and move on. And we'll go to the next game, which is it's a Requiem's game, and this team is
I love this team. I love this team so much. I'm all of the initiates are special in their own way to me, obviously, but Requiem's team is my favorite.
Yay, screens into bulky setup or fast setup with a stupid shed tail. Like, this is just so tough to play with. I think obviously this is a really strong set of Mons, so I think she did a really good job. I just don't want to play it.
It's so tough to prep for it, because your Zygarde can be different things, your Spectre can be different things, your Dozo's probably going to be the same thing more or less every week, but
yes, Helmet Dozo.
Yeah, this was such a... I mean, Dozo is always scary, even if you have a good answer to it. The issue is that this, really the only solid answer to it was the Chiyu. There could have... I don't know what the Latias set was, but I imagine if there was coverage for the Dozo on it, I'm not sure why it wasn't swapped in earlier. So that leads me to believe that the Latias didn't have a coverage move for it.
Yeah, and I think too, one thing to consider that was kind of missing was that Snack has Hisui Trode, right?
Yes, he does.
So I would have thought, looking at this team with the speed tier, Branks tying Mega Arrow, the super effective on the Bozo, and if Zygarde goes Terra Ground, you can freely Volt Switch, because you can just smack it with a Energy Ball or Giga Drain right after and do a ton of damage. I thought it would have been a pretty good bring, but maybe there's some other things we weren't thinking about. And clearly hindsight's 2020, but it seems like it would have been such a good bring to this game.
Yeah, I definitely think that you easily could have seen. Also, something to note is that the Hisuian Electrode is Terra as well. It's one of the Terra captains, so you could have, if you were looking for maybe a range that you wouldn't normally have from one of its stabs, that was something to consider as well. But yeah, I would say that the main, I think the main issue I had with Snacker's team is that there wasn't Hisuian Electrode, but again, there could have been things in prep that he considered that we haven't.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. There's some things in, Requiem does a good job cycling this Grimmsnarl in and out, just doing setting screens and pivoting out, just very strong.
I'm curious what the spread on that Zygarde was, because it just took nothing. And
Yeah,
light
I
screen
wonder.
isn't up. That was reflex, not light screen, and it just took nothing from it.
Well, it was
I
it was
would.
-1 special attack. You gotta remember from the parting shot.
Oh, was it? Okay, I
Yeah,
was. Okay.
it's all. That's all. I don't know if we even see a Grimmsnarl fourth move. I think it's screens and parting shot every time.
What does it need? What does it need to do besides
Uh,
like on this team? All it has to do is pivot.
and the horse, and whew, good play with a Thunder Wave here to neutralize the speed.
I think if there was a sub that turn, I think the game just ended right there.
Most likely, yeah. I think he thinks. I bet you it was Nasty Plot Shadow Ball, maybe Dark
Draining
Pulse and
Kiss?
Draining Kiss. Yeah,
Probably.
just because probably the plan was to get the Shed Tail in, so she could have got it that way. But unfortunate miss. Stone Miss is just the worst.
Yeah, I think you mentioned. Rock Blast being your sort of solution to rock moves
Yes.
missing, which happened in 2 of the games that we're covering this
Yeah.
week.
Stone Miss gives and it takes. I mean, it just goobed that Latias from basically full. I mean, it's so good. Mega Arrow is so good, but this one's starting to get tough. You realize Don Bozo's pretty healthy, and the Rocky Helmet here is going to start whittling down this Mega Lop pretty quick.
Yeah, it's such a safe switch in at this point in the game to just keep swapping Dozo every time either Slow King or Lopunny is on the field, because neither of them they've shown that neither can really touch it, and so you just sort of play the waiting game into which one is gonna give first, and it's very rarely the Dozo.
Yep, and here's the tail. Citrus, interesting.
Yep. So I mean, Zygarde here is so good. Like I don't think there's ever a matchup where you don't want to bring a Zygarde.
No, especially Omniterra here. It becomes such a nuisance.
Yeah.
You really got to worry about Coil, E-Speed Normal, D-Dance. I mean,
it can do so many things. I think I mentioned to Brequiem that banded E-Speed Terra Normal was like definitely something. It's something I want to try with my Zygarde this season. Actually, wait, I don't think I can Terra my Zygarde.
I think this is a tough turn here. I think Requiem gets oh no, it's a little bit later. It gets a little lucky on some RNG that Snack maybe missed out on, but it's so just 34, and we don't know the rolls, so we don't know if that was a high, and the curse sets it up just to survive that and click rest.
Yeah, but I mean that's game. That was game right there. The for sure obviously there was luck on both sides. Right here, she wins the 1 and 3, and takes out Chiyu, which
to be fair, when he came in, he got lucky not to get liquidated on right away. So it kind of evens out, I guess. It
was a roll, and if it had gone the other way, then there was a likelihood that the game still could have been brought back from this point.
Yeah.
But
so I mean that's a good thing to look about for Snack. You do lose this, but you put yourself in a spot with a chance to win, which is in Mons, that's all you can really ask for. Hacks happen so often at these crucial moments. It seems like that you kind of did well here to move it into a closer game at the end. I don't think 3-0 is a very fair score for Snack. I do think Requiem played really well and prepped incredibly, but I don't think Snacker was that far behind on the plays. I don't know if you agree with that.
I would definitely say the difference between them this week was prep and not play. I think they both played. I think given the 6 that they brought, I think they both played very well. And I think that if Snackard had made some different decisions in prep, then it easily could have gone in his favor.
What are Snack's Terras? I don't even know if we saw Terra.
So Terra Scizor, Terra Hisuian Electrode, and Terra Runarigus were
Gotcha.
are
So
the three.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it obviously wouldn't have mattered too much unless you got into a situation where you needed to Terra, Steel, and Bullet Punch. We talked about this in the first time we recorded. I don't love Life Orb on a pivoting mon, unless it's Mian Shao with Regenerator.
That makes sense. Never mind that I brought Life Orb Coco this week. Ignore that, but yeah, no, Terra Life Orb pivots are really bad, guys. Don't bring those.
I think it can obviously be great, but I think if you're, and we didn't see U-turn, but it could have been like Bug Bite, Roost, SD, Bullet Punch, which is a much better Life Orb set. But I just feel like you can't run boots, so then you're taking rocks, you're taking spikes, and then you click U-turn. If someone brings helmet, you're losing half your health in basically one turn. I just don't love it, but it could have been a different set that we just didn't see. It would be odd to bring Sword Stance against the unaware Don Bozo, but who knows?
Yeah, I think, and this may be too niche, and this, looking at the whole team, this may not have been as obvious as it was, but just looking at this, looking at how this played out, I think a Terra normal Runerigus with Toxic Spikes, I think would have gone crazy here.
Yeah, it would have been pretty good, actually. That would have been really nice.
You would have had a much more defensive switch into Spectrier if that was getting out of hand. You had a check to Dozo in which you would give it the Wandering Spirit, so it wouldn't be unaware anymore, and you might be able to. You would also then become unaware and be able to hit it through its boosts. And so I think there was. I think that as the season progresses, I think we're going to see people get more and more creative with how they use their Terras. I think because it's the first week, people are still trying to feel out what they can reasonably get away with. But I think that I'm looking forward to seeing how people circumvent certain matchups with their Terras.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And speaking of interesting Terras, this kind of leads us into what was a really close game and what is just a slugfest here.
Absolutely. This was a very Gen 9 game. HO versus HO. You had Hypnos's Sun team versus GDP's Corviknight team that unfortunately could not bring Corviknight to this matchup.
No, that would have been crazy. And Corviknight would have to get explosion, and you'd have to be like a Focus Sash explosion or something like that doesn't exist. That would be really funny.
Well, if I could see Terra Corviknight coming to this matchup,
his Terras are Cleaver and Arcanine, which are pretty interesting. So let's.
Those are. I think they're both very good Terras.
Yeah.
For the points that you're spending on them.
Yeah, I think this is. And what were the Terras? Oh, it's Hisui, Arcanine. It's not Roaring Moon.
It could have been Torkoal or Hisui and Arcanine.
Gotcha.
It was Hisui and Arcanine this week, but I think that a defensively Terra'd Torkoal also could have been very threatening.
Yeah, let's hop into this one because I think this one has some kind of crazy plays. Also, everybody that had their nicknames, I did enjoy all of them. Forgot to mention that in the first recording. Loved all the nicknames so far.
The nicknames have been very nice. Yes.
Also, we don't make it. You don't obviously have to make it evolve. I wonder if he was keeping it for solar power or something. But yeah.
I would say no. I probably not. I think I think it was a misclick.
I just wonder also if Weather Ball in the sun does more damage. I think it does. Weather Ball in the sun, it does do more damage.
It would have to, yeah. So yeah, a misplay by not clicking Terra at that point. It's low enough. I understand the sack. You don't want to give chip on anything else. So this turn.
I mean, I love it, but it seems excessive.
I was laughing, but I was also very confused because I feel like if you're going to surprise someone with a Destiny Bond on your offensive answer to Dragapult and Walking Wake, you would maybe want to save it for one of them, or maybe the Hisuian Arcanine. It felt, I guess, a bit unnecessary to give Torkoal to waste that on the Torkoal when I feel like you could have gone Blastoise there pretty safely. I think I again haven't done the calc, so maybe it was a bad play, but yeah, that felt like a weird trade to make at this point in the match.
I was a little surprised to see Valiant come out so quickly on the, was it on the Charizard? I think it was.
Yeah, wait, back.
No, it went on. It came in with the Dragapult, but you were booster attack, so you're kind of fortunate, I think, that Dragapult didn't have anything. I don't think Valiant is very bulky, so that was risky. I mean, it ended up working out, obviously, but whew, the balls of steel there on GDP to play that one.
Yeah.
And,
so yeah, safe. I mean, predictable. I think this is just a general thing, but typically when you play HO, and this may just be a preference thing, but I tend to go for a ton of like risky predictions, and so seeing the sort of I guess safeness of their moves is, I think it's better. It's definitely more consistent. But I, as a spectator, I wanna see more predictions.
Oh yeah, of course. I want to see some big balls play here. High risk, win the game, lose the game.
The mods love balls.
We're old. I also, you brought this up the first time. A Terra Steel Flash Fire kind of goes crazy here. Or honestly, even Terra Water is not bad for the steam eruption that is coming your way. But it's tough. I get it. You had two good Terra captains, and you didn't want to blow the Terra early, I guess. And also another really good prediction here to click the CC on the Slitherwing, where you could have taken an EQ or something.
For sure. No, that was, and yes, that was a play where I think it was good to take that risk, because
he needed to get back in the. I think he needed to get back in the game a little bit, and so that was a good play.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know what the roar was for.
I'm not sure either. Like, you're not, you can't Shell Smash on your Blastoise. Maybe for an SD or a Calm Mind Valiant variant. Yeah,
but in general, if you're going with a setup, you're going Speed Booster, and then you're Life Orb, so you're dying to Moonblast, or if it's Swords Dance, you're dying to Spirit Break anyways.
Yeah, I'm sure it was for something. Like,
there's probably, we're not looking at the rosters. Yeah, there's probably something.
I mean, maybe a. Yeah,
man, Slitherwing is so bulky on the special side. It just takes nothing from this.
Yeah, but so the thing about the Arcanine, which I think is interesting, is that you're a Flash Fire Steel Arcanine into a Sun team that, like, you resist both dragons, and you force a Hydro Steam from Walking Wake, and that just gives you a really easy switch into your Mega Blastoise.
Yeah. Rapid Spin right there. You might be able to kind of clean, but tough.
Yeah.
Slitherwing makes a nice first impression here.
Yeah.
And then typical rock move that we've now seen a couple times. RNG is so rough on this rock.
So in the first recording, we didn't know if that roll mattered, or if that miss mattered, and we calced it, and it did matter, because if Cleavor would have gotten the kill on Slitherwing, it would have been at full health. Barring a crit, I do not think that the Arcanine had a move that would have one-hit KO'd it. This is, of course, assuming they were both offensive variants. But assuming they were, this was that was a game-losing miss.
Yeah, we think based on what we're seeing.
We think.
Not 100% sure. Obviously, we don't know. We didn't check sets or anything if anybody posted it. But this was a really great game, guys. Lots of good plays. GDP made some really nice calls here to get back into the game when it kind of looked like he was on the back foot. Hypno, again, the heavy offense with the 3 life orbs is crazy to me, but it worked out really well, and you were able to just kind of nuke some things down. I would like to have seen the game without the crit on Meow, because I think based on that it lived, to see if it was either scarfed or had sucker punch, or does he stay in? It could have changed the game a little bit. You never know. So interesting. Unlucky for GDP, but Hypno, really good game, really well played.
Absolutely, yeah. No, this was our closest game this week, and I think because of that it was the most enjoyable, but also just because of the nature of the matchup. You have this was fast, this was explosive. Obviously, the luck not being in GDP's favor was unfortunate, but that's Mons, and I think that both of these teams are going to do very well, because I think they're both very well constructed.
Yeah, I do too. Let's hop into the standings and kill leaders and see what we have going here. Eruption on the Rain team. Really, really strong start, obviously. 6-0. Speak No Evil, also impressive here on a nice 5. We already watched the Zach game, and then, pretty even here. Obviously, if you're at the bottom, I wouldn't worry about it. We're only 1 weekend.
Yeah, it's week 1. People are figuring things out. Until it is mathematically impossible for you to make playoffs, you can make playoffs.
Astute observation, Kelpo.
Well, I think about season 2, and the run that Froggy made, and which was in this division. He inherited a 1-5 team and brought it back and took the whole thing. So I always encourage people, never count yourself out unless you literally cannot make it. If there is a chance, then you can make it happen. So I don't think that anyone who lost this week should feel too bad. I think that every team in this division can easily make playoffs. We said this in the first recording, but I would say as a whole, the drafts this season by Initiate are very good, and I think that they are all strong contenders and should be in the running for it. So
yeah, best division by far. First to finish the draft, cruised through it, left picks, got pretty good drafts here all around. And then your kill leaders are funny. The Dragon Orb at first, I don't remember this game, but I just always assume if I see 6-0 it was a D-Dance, but it could have been just no fairy or something.
I believe this was a scarfed dragon energy with no fairies on the other side, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I love seeing the Moltres up here. It's kind of odd. I feel like Beedrill's not that rare to see up there, but it's 3 kills is still a good start. Rain, Zapdos, and Rain, Dracovish. Yeah. And then of course these 3 don't surprise me. I would not be surprised to see these 3 at the top at the end of this season.
Yeah, Valiant was first pick in I think more divisions than it wasn't.
Yeah, most likely.
I think I know this division first picked it, and I think at least one other one did. So that's not surprising to see it up here. I will be surprised if it doesn't continue to be up here.
I think. It went 2-1. It may have gotten more had he not made the Torkoal play. But,
yeah,
it was awesome. I loved it.
I
laugh only because I enjoyed it so much.
no, that was the best turn of the week. Was
Yes.
seeing that Destiny Bond
If
come
we did
out.
a heat of the week, that would be my heat of the week. I don't even think I knew it learned Destiny bonds. They learn something new every time. Hop over to rosters here. I don't think anyone's made any drastic changes, and I don't think you guys should yet until you're really like sure on your team and comfortable. In our first recording, this is what I want to see. I want to see this Crabominable get some kills. That's what I'm here for. That and the weather war game. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weather battle. I'm also looking forward to the crab. I think that Nomi's low tier Terras can be threatening. That Terra Wobbuffet I think can really catch some people off guard. As well as I think Terra Cradley also can definitely be scary.
What's Crickettoon's ability? It doesn't have stakeout, does it?
Crickettoon, I know absolutely nothing about that mon aside from the fact
I think
that
it has Technician in like Radical Red, maybe.
It gets webs, which I'm assuming is why it was picked. I don't actually, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, webs, Medi and webs.
I could no. Oh no. Webs is a very real threat on that team.
Yeah.
I just, as far as Crickettoon being the Terra for a week, I'm not sure what it does.
It gets better chance to get webs up. So,
yeah.
We're gonna try to do this weekly for you guys. We'll try to watch 3 different games with 3 different coaches if possible, or 6 different coaches if possible. Again, great job scheduling. I know there's games that have already been played for week 2, so really appreciate you guys getting those games in and not having us chase you. So really appreciate it. Kelpo, any last words?
I want the crab. I want the crab to do things, and I'm looking forward to every match this week. I think when we're done here, I'm gonna go watch the games that have already been played. But yeah, no, super excited to see what you guys bring in the coming weeks, and yeah, we'll be back here next week, and we'll be looking them over.
Awesome. All right, guys. Bye.